All right, before we begin, let's talk a little bit about where you get Unreal Engine. And if you've done the Blueprint series, you should already have it installed. And then what you need to install next, which is Visual Studio. So if you go to the Unreal Engine website, you go ahead and sign in, and then you could download your project, your Unreal, essentially, application here. And the thing behind this is you want to make sure that when you could just run through the default installation and install 5.7. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you need help, please reach out to me. We also cover this in the Blueprint series, so um, I don't want to just kind of bloat this video with more content. An area that could be an issue, though, is if you just type in Visual Studio because you need to install that as well, it's going to take you to 2026. Do not download and install 2026. You need 2022. 2026 is going to give you installation issues or project build issues when you go to run and build your project. It is not at this current moment supported for 5.7. Maybe it will be for 5.8. So what you want to do is I'll provide you with the link, but you really just want to type Visual Studio 2022. And it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, and then you want to click download. And then within this, you could download this Visual Studio setup, and then there's obviously community. Um, so with that, those are really the applications that you're going to, the two that you're going to install as you want to go through that. It's also inside of this, the Unreal Engine has a 5.1 Visual Studio installation guide, and that'll take you through it as well. And I'm going to link this as well. But these are, takes you through the whole process of how to install really Unreal Engine. Now, once you have Visual Studio installed, I'm going to jump into the installer and show you, just kind of reiterate here what you need in order to get to make sure that so you could build your application, what you need to have installed. All right, so I already have it installed, but just to kind of show you some of the components, I always check on the .NET development framework, the desktop development C++, and then this WinUI applications. It says build applications within this platform using WinUI, blah, blah. Check that on as well. And then this game development C++. And then you want to make sure that when you go into these individual components, that you scroll down. Let's see if I could just type x86 and if it'll bring it up. You want to make sure that you have at least MSVC version 143. This is the latest installed. So you want to make sure that's on, and then you're going to go ahead and install all of that. Now let's jump into our Unreal Editor and go ahead and create our first project. All right, I went ahead and opened my Epic Games launcher here, and I'm using 5.7.4. I think they just came out with 5.8 actually. If you want to follow along with this without any issues, you can use 5.7. If you do 5.8, I'm sure it's completely fine. And if you run into any issues, let me know, and then we'll meet up and we'll figure those things out. So what I want to do is just launch my Unreal Engine editor, and I'm going to give it a few seconds to launch. All right, so this is the 5.7 Unreal Editor, or Unreal Engine rather, new project setup wizard. So I'm going to go ahead and click on new project here. I'm going to go to games, and what we could start off with essentially is we'll just do let's go with third person. I was considering doing blank project just so we can kind of start from scratch, but I think starting off with some assets would be fine. Go ahead and select C++ here, and then instead of my project name here, just name this games. And that way, when we create a bunch of games within this C++ project, you'll have access to them. So go ahead and click the create button. Now it's important to understand that it could take a little bit of while to do this. If you get errors, again, you might have to do some searching with the errors online, as well as reach out to me and we could figure it out. All right, now that we have our project open, we'll take a look at creating our first C++ class, and we'll avoid the interface because, again, we've covered a lot of that over in the Blueprint series. So I hope you like this tutorial, and I look forward to seeing you soon.